Okay, how to increase your DPS. So the number one thing you need to do is you have a main spammable. Okay, what's the purpose of the main spammable? Your purpose of your main spammable attack is not the sole reason or the sole thing you do over and over and over. All a purpose of a main spammable attack is to fill in the gaps between your damage over time effects. How do you know what damage over time effects should you run to do damage? Okay, first off, let's do one attack. We did one attack with our main spammable. Come back here. Come back here, pet. Let's try to get out of combat. So what we're going to do is do one attack. This is not perfect RNG, so I know math nerds will freak out about this. So what do? We did one force pulse, okay? One force pulse did, let's do the little calculator here. Calculator, just to be full math nerd. So it did 4,003 plus 241 plus 2451. You notice I didn't do any light attacks. So that's roughly 10,000 damage for one cast of Force Pulse. Remember, Elder Scrolls Online uses a global cooldown system. You can use one ability, 1 second in general, okay? So let's do another cast. Remember, we're pairing one attack, one action. What's the most opportune action we can take per second? That's all you're doing with DPS. So if I cast Lightning Flood, if we let it go its full duration, we'll see exactly if it does more damage than our main spammable. The answer is if it does more damage than your main spammable or makes your overall damage more impactful, more higher, like Elemental Drain or Minor Berserk or something, then you're going to want to run it. So let's use Lightning Flood. Lightning Flood has an added advantage of it's a really good AoE. Okay, so we get Lightning Flood up here. So Lightning Flood did 17,000 damage, as you can see from the tooltip. So if Lightning Flood was down, why would you use Force Pulse? You wouldn't. One cast of Lightning Flood, what, 75% more damage than Force Pulse? I'm not good at math, but 75% more damage than Force Pulse. So Force Pulse is your gap filler. It's not the way you do high-end DPS. Let's continue this, okay? So one more. Elemental Blockade. Same thing. So we sit here. Come on, Twilight. Now, Elemental Blockade does have some status effect stuff that it does beyond just doing that, and it has an explosion, okay? So we did that. Okay. Let's see what this produces. We got a combat yet? Nope. Okay, Elemental Blockade, the actual attack, the damage over time was 13,000 roughly, and then the explosion was 6,000. So Elemental Blockade did 19,000. So if Elemental Blockade is down, why would I cast a Force Pulse? I get one action per 1 second. Are you understanding what this means? So how you do top-end DPS, and I'm no master at it, but you continue to add damage over time effects that outproduce your main spammable, or add a benefit, okay? What I mean by add a benefit, if I look at Channeled Acceleration does not do any damage, but if I cast it, I get 36 seconds of increased crit damage by 10%. So what you can do is you can do a parse with or without this for a minute, 5, 10, whatever, and see, do you do more damage taking 1.3 seconds plus a global cooldown casting this or not? So how you add more damage to this is, I have Camo Hunter. It's very simple because I stand behind something, I get a little bonus damage. But I could even go further. I could do another damage over time effect, Haunting Curse, okay? And the way the game's working right now, I could do another one, Mystic Orb. And so I continue to add things on my bar that allow me to do more damage than my main spammable. So when I go through my rotation, all I'm doing is thinking to myself, I have one action per 1 second. What do I do? Elemental Blockade's down. That's going to outproduce Force Pulse. Okay, I'm going to use that. Liquid Lightning, Liquid Flood's down. I'm going to cast that. It's going to outproduce Force Pulse. Everything's up that I can cast to outproduce Force Pulse. Okay, now it's time to do Force Pulse. That's how you continue to add damage and do higher DPS. Also, it's going to be gear dependent. It's going to be life hack weaving dependent. It's going to be champion point dependent. Your food, your weapon choices, your traits, your Munda Stone, your racial choices, etc., etc. But the pure basis of it is this. Once you get to execute, then it adds another layer of complexity. So what I mean by that? Well, when you get to execute, you got to read what your execute is. Okay. So Sorky Porky, 20% health, they fall below. And the tooltip says 12,000 shock damage to them, and then another one pure by enemies surrounding. So what you're going to do is you're going to get this mob down to 20%, and you're going to see what does a Mage's Wrath actually do damage. And then you're going to factor in, do I need to run my Elemental Storm even during execute? Assuming that's like 30 seconds or 15 seconds or whatever. So, in summary, use your main spammable no matter what class you're on. Just click it once and pull up combat metrics or another tooltip, or just visibly look if you're on consoles. Write it down. Do the math. Do another full cast, full channel of your ground effect AoEs, your damage over time effects. Whatever is more damage producing is what you're going to want to cast. Use in your main spammable as a gap filler. That's how you do increased damage.